another black man is gunned down by the police, and more civil unrest follows. Amidst all the rioting, a lone individual has risen to fame through acts of violence. A 17-year-old white supremacist took it upon himself to maliciously attack peaceful protesters. During the assault, 2 people were killed, and a 3rd was wounded. Now the biggest question is, will justice prevail, or will another right-wing extremist get away with murder? It's safe to say that Kyle Rittenhouse will walk, because this whole mass shooter narrative is a joke. Aside from the media twisting the incident into a blatant lie, Kyle himself did everything right. What I mean by this is that everything, leading up to the first shot being fired, and even beyond, is in Kyle's favor. If we're to believe the alternate fictional version of this story, then that would mean this teenager possessed an illegal firearm. He traveled to another state, and his sole intention was to instigate a fight in the hopes of slaughtering his enemies. As the days go on, more information is revealed, which is always the case with anything that grabs the nation's attention. And this is why it's so important to learn the facts before you pick a side. I've been sitting back, watching and listening as more of this incident is brought to light, so I'll summarize what is now known. Kyle worked in Kenosha as a lifeguard. This turns out to be a 20-minute drive from his home, so this whole coming from an entire other state argument is done. He was already there for most of the day before things set off. Him and his friends were helping the community by cleaning up damage from the rioting. At some point, he caught wind of a local business owner asking for help with keeping their livelihoods safe from further destruction. Kyle and his friends got their rifles and jumped on board. And no, the firearms were not illegal. For most of the evening, the 17-year-old monster devoted his time to protecting property and providing medical aid. There were multiple times where rioters attempted to provoke this group of patriots, but they were unsuccessful. It wasn't until Kyle made his way back to one of the mechanic shops he vowed to defend that things escalated. Annoyed that someone dare foil their plans, the aggressors went after Rittenhouse. While attempting to flee, Kyle was forced to defend himself, and because of this, the first attacker was shot in the head. The pursuit continued until the lone patriot tripped. Then attacker number 2 moved in and attempted to take Kyle's weapon, but the only thing they got was a bullet to the chest. Before the action ended, one more bad guy decided to try their luck with drawing and pointing a handgun at Kyle, but it didn't quite work out. In the aftermath of all that happened, we're left with a situation consisting of an individual who defended themselves, and the world is trying to come down on them for it. There are multiple arguments being presented, the biggest one being the question of why he was there. But that doesn't matter, especially now that all of the evidence supports his side of the story. And even if he was there to fight, which he very well may have been, he is not the one who drew first blood. Simply existing or venturing someplace where people don't like you does not warrant an attack. The law we live under does not support that. What it does support, however, is self-defense. And luckily for Kyle, it's all on video. That is the end of the argument. The only reason this whole thing is blowing up so much is due to politics. Someone had the audacity to disrupt the destruction that was occurring, so they must be punished. It doesn't matter that lives are ruined. It's all for the greater good. If you don't let these children break things, then you're clearly a racist, and you must be eliminated. Yes, that's right. A scumbag was crippled, so the appropriate response is to destroy people that had nothing to do with it. But then again, if these people would get on board, start chanting Black Lives Matter, and join in the chaos, maybe they could be entitled morons too. But at least they'd be righteous, entitled morons. Setting aside whatever agenda is being bestowed upon the populace, there is one crucial thing that needs to be understood. If you are not with them, you are against them. Anyone that does not align with their beliefs is the villain, and whoever qualifies as the villain is open game. They will try to crush you by any means necessary, and you are expected to fear even the thought of fighting back. Well, Kyle fought back. Just imagine if more people had the same amount of courage. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and if you could, tap the little bell icon so you're notified every time I come out with new content. Also, the link to my Discord will be in the description, as well as a couple other links to videos that I felt were relevant to the topic I'm discussing. So a shooting occurred in Kenosha, and yet again, the nation is divided. Just like every other day of the week when something new happens and every single individual on this planet feels the need to voice their opinion on it. But one could argue that I'm doing the same thing because I'm giving my opinion. But the main difference is that I'm trying to inspire people to view the situation with logic. As I've already stated in my video, the only thing that matters in all of what occurred with Kyle Rittenhouse is that he was attacked and he defended himself. Does not matter that someone died because of this. They went after him first. When somebody tries to hurt you, you do not have to sit there and take it. And even though there is an insane amount of documented proof that this 17-year-old did in fact defend himself, people are still trying to dissect this white supremacist shooting because they need it to be about that. They need it to be race-motivated and politically motivated. And what I see these individuals clinging on to the most is the argument of why he was there in the first place. The argument is that he shouldn't have even been there. Just think about that for a second. Imagine someone coming to you and giving you that same exact reasoning for something else, like getting into an accident on the interstate. Could you imagine that? Getting into a horrific accident, your car rolls down the highway, and someone's first response is, well, you shouldn't have been there in the first place. You might laugh and disagree with that comparison, but let's look at it like this. You're getting into a 2,000-pound death machine on wheels, and then you're going to take it out and sling it down the highway at 70+ miles per hour and pretend that there is no inherent danger of doing that? And you might be thinking, well, I'm a good driver. Yeah, well, not everyone else around you is. The person in the lane beside you could be an incredible driver, but they could also, for a moment, glance down at their phone to text somebody back and swerve in front of you. Or maybe you just encounter an aggressive driver and, well, your interaction with them leads to an accident. It is blatant hypocrisy. That's all it is. Someone somewhere is gaining something from all of this. Human behavior never ceases to amaze me. And it's fascinating because I watch the Discovery Channel and then I turn around and watch everything that's happening in the world with our species. And I do see similarities, and when you consider the events that transpired in Kenosha, you literally are able to witness natural selection take place. And what do I mean by that? Well, you have a group of clearly delusional individuals chasing someone holding an AR-15 and expecting not to get shot. So what can everyone learn from this? I'd say the biggest lesson is to not provoke people with weapons. And secondly, the Constitution does not grant you the right to attack someone simply because they have different views than you. But, free will, might is right. The choice is yours. But remember, just because you think you're right doesn't mean you are. And it doesn't mean you'll win. Alright, that's it for me. Until you hear from me again, have a good one.